So this is a geothermal company called Griffin Arles, and I was fortunate enough to be married to an Icelandic lady, and they got interested in me after seeing my retrospective in Reykjavik, and asked me to do an art project for them. They have a major art gallery inside this headquarters here, and they said, Brian, you can just stand up because you're mostly made of water for a month in our gallery, and we'll give you X thousands of pounds if you want to do it. Or you can do a photographic project because you're a photographer. So I decided, obviously, to do the photographic project. And I've got to think what to do. They said, Brian, you can do anything you want as long as you have steam, water in the images somewhere. So you show a little bit about what the company's about. That's got its own speed. And then the flash goes off. Then the tungsten behind is burning for 4 seconds. So the tungsten, which is obviously with the water people I'm talking about at the moment. So the 4-second exposure on the background is recording the movement of the water on the glass, because it's behind it, but the water's moving. So the camera's seeing the background and the subject in silhouette through the water movement over the 4 seconds. So in fact the water's like playing like an erosion. It's like melting away the image that you've initially put on the film with the flash of the exposure of the subject. So the water starting to eat and erode and play. It's just basic shutter speed, light, viscosity, the speed of water in conjunction to shutter speed. So I've got all that worked out. Now, where are these subjects? What are they? I'd been to Iceland and I'd read a book which I'd read as a child called Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne. So I dreamt up in my own imagination that Reykjavik Energy invited me to go to their headquarters. I would meet my air crew, and my air crew would fly me out, being the first photographer to meet the water people in a secret destination in Iceland. So I'm fulfilling the function of water, steam, which I've got to fulfill, what this company does, which I'll go through in detail as we walk through. So I fly to Reykjavik in this storyline. This is a fantasy, a different way of going about a corporate job. And I land and I go to the headquarters. I walk around the headquarters and I see the executives are playing this weird gunslinger. This is a fantasy, remember. Weird gunslinger game. They're playing it with their identity tags that are on elastic to get them through security doors. And I call this the elastification of identity. And they take me upstairs into the top floor and I meet the aircrew and the pilots. This is the captain of the spaceship. His name is Sverre Thorolfsson. And I meet the shaven-headed pilots. When I meet the shaven-headed pilots, the Yule Brinners we call them, they've constantly got water pouring over their heads. Constantly, day and night. Their water cascades over them, drips over them. Then I'm fortunately taken over to the main pilot, which is over there, and I start to employ a technique that I used I developed in '83 with Susie and the Banshees. And what this technique is that you get a subject, you decide how big the head of the subject's going to be, and you put a light behind that subject and create a silhouette. Then you get the subject to either recline further back or come nearer your camera. You take the back off the Hasselblad, wind the camera on so the shutter's cocked, put the same piece of film back into the back of the camera, and you put a light on the front of the subject, so you're recording the front of the subject's face. So this is a small head, and then the subject's come towards me. I've refocused on his face, and I put a light on his face, and I put a big head and a big nose, and into a small silhouetted head. So it's 2 exposures onto one. And I found that with doing Susie, that by accident, I have to admit, I think that it works. And I was desperate, and I employed that same technique again on this pilot. Because I had a short period of time to photograph him, because he had to go, and I had to pull from the outside. This is an early water portrait. You can see this, it's like water, just like probably from a bottle above, just coming slowly over the subject. It's just rivulets of water. She's a real Icelandic aerostat. So this aircrew then take me to my little throwaway canvas, big